Hey, what's going on, y'all? Today we're gonna be working in the 2001 SL1 Saturn. For all you Saturn owners, this is how to prevent the F5 fuse from melting. Most of y'all done had this problem before, and most of y'all have never had this problem before. But it comes from Saturn having too much current on one line, like the cigarette lighter, the radio, the interior light, the power locks and windows and all that stuff like that. And as the fuse melt, you won't be able to start your car. Then sometimes you have to reach behind this fuse box because your car, it just turn, it won't click or it won't say nothing. And you even lose your door chime too. You reach behind here and you have to wiggle those wires behind because the F5 fuse melt, and the little metal plug on the back that plugs in there, after it melt, it get wide and it get loosened. You have to take the whole fuse box out and fix that problem. But this won't fix that problem, but it'll prevent that problem. Luckily on this one, I don't have power windows and power door locks, but we still gonna, for the cigarette lighter, I usually take the wires out the back. I make my own ground and then run the wire to the battery up under the battery or the fuse box up under the hood, which helps with that problem. Because if you use, I had this problem one time and I never had it again, because every Saturn I had after that, this is the first thing I did. I ran the fuse, the ground and the 12 volt from the radio, which if you're doing an aftermarket radio, if you got a factory radio, it's fine. But if I was doing a factory radio, an aftermarket radio like I done in my previous Saturns, I will run this power up under the hood also. But mainly I'm running a cigarette lighter because this is what I use most, and I'm not changing the radio. And this right here draws a lot of current, and I use this a lot. See, if you don't use your cigarette lighter that much, then you don't have to worry about it. I'm always charging up iPhone, iPad, radio, because I drive this a lot, and I'm constantly have to keep my phone charged, so my phone is always on charge. And that's what melted my fuse the first time. A lot of people, y'all might not have this problem, but this is for the people that use the cigarette or the radio a lot, and they done had this problem before, but this is going to prevent it. And this is the stuff I had in the house already. If you don't have to go buy nothing, and then that's cool. All you need is ring terminals for the ground. That's another ring terminal to go around, the wider one to go around the battery up front, the battery lug up front. I got some, this 16 gauge, this is cool. You don't need nothing higher than that. If you have it, that's fine, but, and then use whatever you got in the house. Just make sure there ain't no super thin speaker wire type stuff, but this 16 gauge should be plenty. And a fuse holder. And I would say use a 15. Even if you was running a radio and a cigarette light off of here, do a 15. Don't do nothing higher. A lot of people figure, oh, I'm doing a radio and the cigarette light, let me bump up the fuse. No. I'd rather go with a lower fuse than a higher fuse. But like you said, you want the fuse to pop in case anything happened. No, I done did a 15 in here. I even did a 10 and never had a problem with it popping. Like I said, you can always go lower, but never go higher. You don't want to put nothing like a 25 or 30, because if something get hot or something happen, you want that fuse to be the first thing to go to shut the power off. Anything higher, just gonna keep drawing current and stuff gonna melt, catch fire. You don't want that. All right. So it's basically simple right here. You guys, right here, let me show you. See this cigarette lighter right here? The cigarette. Let me get the focus. There you go. And here you want to pull this little cover off back here. Let me see. I don't know if you guys can see because I don't got my light on. Let me see if I can turn my light on. There we go. Just turn my light on to the camera. Yes. Let me see. It's hard to see back there. Let me see if I can focus in right there. You see the tab up here? Right here. You just want to unplug that. Probably get like a flathead or something, and you take a gray tab. You just want to push that in and pull it out. It ain't much space up on here, so let me get a screwdriver and push this little gray tab out right here. Push that gray tab in and pull it out. That's what you're going to use. That's your ground and your 12 volt. Let me pull this out. All right, guys, I got this pulled out. I'm gonna cut this because I need it. I need the plug to go back in the cigarette lighter. So my orange wire, I'm gonna run up under the hood. I'm gonna use a butt connector to do that. And you don't have to overthink this. I mean, if you could, some people say they want to solder or whatever like that. I just use the butt connectors. Been having Saturns. Had plenty of Saturns. I ran them all the way up to from 80,000 miles all the way up to 350,000 miles. I never had a problem with this melting because of a butt connector. I know how some people feel about butt connectors. Oh, you have to solder. You know, I soldered before. I use, like I said, use whatever you have. You don't have to make this a difficult job. Don't overthink it. So let me cut this. And then my ground, you see where the factory ground is right here? I'm not gonna splice into that, nothing. I'm just gonna use a self-tapper. Maybe clean this up a little bit, use a self-tapper to drill into there for this right here. That's it, don't overthink it, y'all. So, let me cut this, get my wires ready, go up under the hood and to ground that, and then I'm gonna turn it back on, all right? All right, guys, I cut the plug off. And to the wires that you cut over there, you can just tape them up. Don't leave them bare, or use like a, see that? Tape them up, or use a, you know, a crimp cap to put on those too. It's up to you. I'll show you what I'm gonna do at the end too. I'm probably use the crimp cap. And to run the hole, to run it through the hole, you see that? I mean, if you want to, I don't. You can see that rubber boot where it's going through. You can stick it up through there with the wires going through, or see that little cap right here. Right here. Pull that back. It's a rubber piece behind here. And let me go show you. You can go through. You can put it through there. I don't know if you can see it through here. Probably because of the sun. Let me see if you can see it. It's hard to get up under here. Let me see. Probably can't see it. But up under this right here, up under there, it's like a round black rubber stopper that you can put your wire through. So that's what I'm gonna use to put my wire through. So it's easy to get your wire through. You can either drill a little hole, you can take it out, push it through there, or however you're gonna do it. You know, you have to figure out how you're gonna do it on your own. I usually take it out, put like a little slit in it with the, like with a razor blade or something like that, or a tiny drill bit, and fish my wire through that. Don't make a big hole. Just a tiny hole to get this, to squeeze this wire through. So it'll close back up. So you don't have to worry about having an open hole and those exhaust fumes and not coming through. Like I said, don't overthink it, man. Just get it done. All right, so let me get this wire through first before I start doing my ground and tie it in to this. This gonna go up on the fuse is gonna go up under the hood because you want this close to the battery, maybe like 6 inches from the battery. You don't want it in here because if anything happens, you want it to pop at the source first. It's gonna have a hard time popping all the way away from the power source. So let's get this done. All right, guys, let me show you what I did. I used a tiny bit to start the hole with right here. And then I just use, you don't have to use this because I only had a small bit. I didn't have it big enough. You can use a, what you call them? A unibit, one of them big drill bits to get through it if you can. But I use this. You know the thing they plug the tire with? Before they plug the tire, they open up the hole a little bit because it's like rough around here. After I did that, I just stuck it in there a few times to widen up the hole a little bit. So you don't want the hole too loose like your mama hole. And then right here, you can just push it through there. And the hole might still be a little tight, but you can get, it still might be a little tight like your sister's, but you still can press it through there anyway, like that. Just press it just enough to get it through there. And then you want to go on the other side and pull it out. You should see it on the other side. Let's see. See if we can see it down there. Yep. Hard to see because of the sun, but you see that wire down there? That red wire? See that red? I don't know if you can see it, but it's down here. Let me see if I can pull it. Yep. There we go. Yep. And we're gonna go to the battery or the back of the fuse box right here. It's like a little lug back here. Let's see if you can see it. Yeah, back here. See if I can pull this fuse thing up. See that little lug right there? I'm gonna go on the back of there with it. Could go to the battery, but I don't have one of those terminals where I can add onto that. It's just easier to go right here. Might have to move this bar. I don't remember moving this bar. That's because I probably didn't have it on my this bar on my other one. I could go to the terminal, but I know I don't have one. I might have an extra terminal in there, but if not, I'm just gonna go to here. But that's neither here nor there. So I'll show you how to get that through there. Now let me go ahead and hook this together, and I might leave an extra ground and power wire taped away down here safely. So if I decide to add a radio, aftermarket radio, or anything else, I'll have a hot and ground down here that's always coming from the battery. And this wire is plenty thick enough with that 15 amp fuse. I won't have to upgrade. So yeah, let me get that done, and then I'll show you what the end results. I might turn it on before I get to the end, just so it's clipped, because I'm not going to do the battery thing yet. But I pretty much have to show you how to do the battery. I mean, you can take the terminal off and put it on. I'm pretty sure y'all know how to do that. If you don't know how to do that, then you probably don't need to be doing this at all. But, no insults, but, you know what I'm saying. All right, let me get this done because I'm holding up too much time. It's hot and humid out here. Early in the morning, it's like 97 degrees. The humidity like 90%, 89%. It's super hot. So I'm trying to get this done. Got some more stuff I wanted to do, but it look like I ain't gonna get that done today. So let me just hurry up and finish this up. All right, turn you back on in a minute. All right, guys, let me show you what I did so far. All right. Put the butt connectors on there, and even though I crimped the butt connectors on there, I always put a piece of tape over there, the crimp part, so you don't get no corrosion in there later. This plug that's coming from the front of the vehicle. Yeah, make sure these wires ran. Don't run it where the steering column. The steering thing, it turns up under there. Just be careful of that. Just try to run it over a wire or over a cable, and then wire tie it up there or tape it or whatever you got. All right. These bugs, man. It's humidity out here, than these freaking bugs. All right. And then this gonna be the ground that's getting grounded to this right here, and this is gonna be this is the wires that I'm gonna leave out right here. See that? See that? Those gonna be the hot and ground I leave out. If I decide to do a radio or anything else, I have a fuse thing ran up on the hood, and like I said, this is gonna plug right into the cigarette lighter. So just make sure your wires are already nice and neat. Bell cap, crimp, tape, solder, whatever you got, and make sure they out the way when you run it. All this is gonna be wired, tied up, nice and neat. Ain't gonna be hanging or any bare wires. So after I'm ground this, plug that in, and then I deal with up under the hood. So I'll turn it back on in a minute. All right. Yeah. Now the ground wire is a hole that's already in here. I just stuck it through this hole and ground it right here, right above the other one. So that way it's out the way. And then still got the plug right here. Plug that in last. And then, like I said, this is the wire that I'm gonna be leaving out. I'm gonna either tape this or crimp cap it. And don't forget to tape or crimp cap these wires that came off the cigarette lighter in the beginning with the orange and the black. All right, don't forget to leave that. All right, I'm just gonna leave this out right now. I could put everything back up because I mean, it ain't like it's rocket science. It's like it ain't gonna be working, but you never know. So got the ground, got the hot, didn't plug the cigarette thing lighter back in yet. So I'm gonna do that last after I deal with up under the hood, after I connect everything under the hood. All right, then I'll get back with you guys. All right, guys, I know I keep cutting the camera on and off, but I had to come keep looking for stuff and find the stuff. Now these is what I was talking about right here. They like little caps, little crimp caps. They come in white too. I couldn't find my white ones, so I grabbed the black ones. That's why I just talking about crimp on the end of the wires that you're not using. Put them on the wire, crimp on the end of the wires, and then these are the two wires that came out the cigarette lighter, the orange and the black. It's going to be crimped down there. I mean, you could tape it, use whatever you have. You don't have to go out or order no crimp caps. You know, I already had them, but didn't have them. I would have just taped them or put butt connector, tape them, either or. So, oh yeah. And then I found this in the house. I usually use these for car audio, but I'm gonna use this for my to connect that power up under them, and then I won't have to take the battery connector back off. All I do is just twist this right here. Let me show you. Let me sit this down for a second. See that? They come off back here, so I could just add. If I had to add something, I just screw this off. I don't have to worry about taking the battery terminal back off or removing that bar from the battery to put it at the fuse box. So I'm going to put it direct at the battery. All right. Now let me disconnect that battery before I mount all this stuff up. And then we'll check everything. All right. Oh yeah, I still got to connect my fuse and all that stuff up there. So yeah, let me get to that. Then I'll cut it back on. All right, yeah. Got the terminal on there. I always put a connector on the end and tape it. I always be extra careful because you don't want to get corroded and the wires to touch, but it's just a habit. Don't have to put the tape on there, but I put the ring terminal. It already got the vinyl sleeve on it, and I just still put tape on it. That's my fuse. Fuse is out of it. Nothing connected yet. And when we get done, we're gonna run that to the side. We're gonna wire loom that up nice and neat. Wire strap it, because you got to be neat too. Yeah. And I got my battery wrench and my 8mm just in case, but I'm gonna use my battery wrench. This normally takes the battery off right here. Like I said, if you don't got one of these, you could use that short socket I just had with an 8mm, and it does the trick. All right, let me get this off. See that? Bam. Shouldn't be on that tight, so you know I had ran it to something so tight the battery thing didn't work, which was weird. But all right, like I said, if you don't have this, use what you got. I only use this. I believe this is brass plate because I had it around. You know, I be doing my car audio stuff. I had this around. If you don't have this, then you could just go to that nut right there right there on the fuse box. You could just do that. But like I said, you may be able to get a wrench up under there, but it'll be easier. I did this before plenty of times. Just take this off, the battery bar off, or take that off and move it to the side. Or you can even take that off and bend it up a little bit because it's flimsy. And then when you get done, bend it back down and tighten it up. But that's up to you. Well, let me take this off and put this on. And I'll turn it back on. All right, guys. Now you see that? See how I got it nice, routed? Got it wire tied, wire strapped, loomed. I didn't strap this. I didn't push this down yet because I got to push the I didn't put the fuse on there yet. See that? Got it nice and ran, loom, neat, wire covered up. Like I said, if you got wire loom, if you don't, then you just tape the wire up or just make sure it's strapped out the way. You know, loom is pretty much cheap. I think you get like 8 feet of it for like $2 and something from Menards or wherever you can get it from. Well, yeah, try to, when you do a job, especially when you're dealing with electrical, try to be decent with it. Try to be neat, because you never know when somebody has to go over your work. You might have to take it to the shop, or somebody else might be driving it and take it to the shop. And they don't know what you did because you done spliced into everything. You ain't got wires taped, wires color coded. You know, if it's a hot wire, use red. If it's a black wire, use black. You know, and then have everything fused, have everything routed. So, because the last thing you want a mechanic to do is to tell the car that you worked on that, hey man, whoever did this didn't know what the hell they was doing, they messed it up. Although some mechanics do that anyway. When they can't figure something out, they automatically blame it on the car audio, the alarm or whatever, even though you did a good job, you know, with everything, you know. So just keep that in mind. Just try to be neat and everything like that. I'm not sure if I got a fuse 50 amp for that, but I'm gonna check. But let me put that inside back together. I gotta do the same thing with that. Got to loom it up, strap it up, and put it back. And then we're gonna test it together to make sure everything work. You know, because I hate doing videos and I don't see the end results. You know, make sure everything work, which is not rocket science. You gotta hide in the ground for a cigarette lighter. You know, but I'm gonna show it anyway because some people still need to see that to make sure everything work. And when I do all my jobs, I try to tape, loom, you know, but this is my vehicle, but I'm just saying I do this with everybody's. I'll try to do this. And if I were to do this for somebody else, I would charge $100 for this. Some people might think it's too much, but if it's too much, some people say, oh, it's too much, that's easy. If it's too much and it's that easy, do it yourself, no offense, you know, because I had to have wire loom, wire straps, fuse holders, terminals, tape, you know. I got to put that together, even though it's a quick job. I mean, still can't do nothing for free, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna keep this. Never know when you might need this. Doubt it if I ever need it because I got a box full of these. But yeah, let me put that back inside back together, then we'll go over everything, make sure it works. We'll get my cigarette lighter, my charger out of my other vehicle, and then we'll make sure it works. All right, turn you back on in a minute. All right, and I had a hard time finding this fuse in the house. Thought I was gonna have to go buy one because I got a bunch of the old style, the bigger blade fuses, but I don't got none of the minis. When I go to the junkyard, I tend to pull the other ones out. I got to start pulling these out. So I barely could find. I ain't find. This is the only one I found. And luckily it was a 15 too. So let me put this in here. Had to use a wire brush and brush that corrosion off of, what's the name? Put that in there. Put the top on there. I usually tape that, but it fit tight. Usually tape that on there anyway, but that should be good. It ain't nothing but plastic in between here and then this little foam pad for the battery. All right, now I can push that down up in there. See that? Now, the moment of truth. Yeah, I put everything back down here. Then bore you out with those details. Put everything back. No wires hanging. Everything nice and clean. So, Plug the cigarette in the cigarette lighter, make sure everything work. Bam, it light up. See that? And me, I notice, I don't want to sound crazy, but I notice when I hook my battery to the, when I hook my, run my wire from the cigarette lighter to the direct to the battery, it seems to charge my phone faster. I don't know, maybe that's just something in my mind, maybe that's me, but it feels like that, because it feels like in here it's tied into with so many other things, you know, but going by itself directly to the battery. See, and then, no, I'm not sure with the Saturn, but I know a lot of the vehicles, like especially the newer vehicles, you can only charge the vehicle with the car on, and I hate that. Sometimes you want to leave your car, your phone charging while you go in the store, you know, or sit with your car off, but now you got to have the key on, you know, and that risks you needing to jump, a battery going dead. But, you know, that's it, guys. I ain't gonna hold y'all no more. I ain't gonna bore y'all up with this video, but that's how you prevent the F5 fuse from melting. Otherwise, it's gonna be costly and timely to take out the fuse box out and repair that, you know. And yes, I have done that before, but I only did that one time. So I said, instead of waiting for the instead of repairing that fuse box, going through all that work, why not just prevent it? And I've been doing this, and it's been preventing it for years and years and years and years. I never had no more problem with the F5 fuse melting. And I think there's another fuse down there melting too, but like I said, do that too. And I also, on my other vehicle, my other Saturn had power locks and power doors. I ran the dome light, because I was using the dome light a lot. Like on this one, I'm not gonna use the dome light. I'm not gonna worry about it. But I ran the dome light power off the battery along with the cigarette lighter and the radio. But that's what that extra wire down there for. Radio, if you decide to run the wire from your dome light, which is in the pillar right here, the panel. And then you can do that. No. I think I have more videos of that up. I'm not sure. You got to check, because I got so many videos up. But this, guys, I ain't gonna hold you. No, I know I said I was gonna hold you guys, but I'm not gonna. I know I said I was not gonna hold you guys. So that's it, man. I see y'all on the next video. I'm out.